Yep, let's do it. Look at some books. Alright, up first, I got a book that I had been looking for a while, and I have not seen it, I don't believe, in the wild ever. Kind of hard to find. It's Uncanny X-Force number 4. Really cool book, especially with the X-Men Apocalypse coming up soon. This is the kind of the death of Apocalypse. It is the death of Apocalypse, but not the way that you would think. This I opened up to kind of read it, and the artwork in this is really good. I've heard this series, the original Uncanny X-Force series, is really good, and I really liked the artwork is awesome, and it's a Rick Remender story. I'm sure it's good, so I'm definitely gonna have to dip into this. And just first off, the cover is awesome. You got Archangel, Deadpool, Wolverine. I mean, they all got white costumes, really cool. And then this is actually Apocalypse as a kid down there, and that's who ends up dying. Spoiler. Am I supposed to say spoiler before? Whoops. So, Death of Apocalypse, definitely pick that up. I got this in a trade for New Guardians 2. And then I also got from the same guy Thanos Imperative 1 through 6 and a couple one-shots as well for $20 for all of them. And I really think this is going to be a hot book with the new Avengers movie coming out. This more than this more than the other newer Thanos books like Thanos Rising and stuff. I think the Imperative is the one to have. So yeah, really happy to get both of these in my collection. I got these over at the Google group Comic Speculating, who has a separate group buying and trading, which is really cool. Alright, so next up, my favorite local store. Man, he just really stocked up the cheap boxes, the quarter, 50s, and dollar boxes. I found some awesome stuff. Shadow Man number 1. Now this is, I got this for a quarter. Yeah, it was a quarter. Now it's not mint. It's got like some I don't know if it's like mildew stains. It looks like foxing basically, but I don't think this book would have that, being at the age of it. So it's probably like some mildew stains from just being improperly stored. But awesome book. What else did I get here? Avengers Arena number 1, 50 cents. I haven't read that. I don't know. It's the series is done. I'll just probably use that as a throw-in for somebody who maybe purchases a comic book off of me. We got a bunch of Supermans. 22, the first time he kills somebody, which is, it's actually, spoiler, it's Zod on Earth 2, I believe. I read this book, trying to figure out what the heck was going on. It's hard to read books when you don't read them in sequence. You just read one. 50, Clark proposes to Lois. 60, First Agent Liberty. I got Warlock 1 and 2 from his newer series, quarter each. Dead Man. These are kind of cool books for a quarter. They are like a bound cover or bound spine. I got Halo Uprising. I normally wouldn't have bought this book, but I think these, from what I understand, these hold some value. So I got 1, 2, 3, and number 1 second print kind of sketch variant, which is cool. And I got Coyote 1 through 5. I love the cover on this one. It's kind of like a modern looking cover. The title's really cool as far as the artwork on the graphics of the title. Because this is how the first book was, and then they changed it. So that's a cool, those were a quarter each. some other ones I got for a quarter. I mean, I just loaded up on these. Um, I got The Kingdom 1 and 2, and I just watched one of District 12 Comics videos, and she pointed out that The Kingdom number 2 is the first appearance of Red Arrow, first appearance of Roy Harper, who is Red Arrow, and she's thinking that he might end up being on the Arrow TV show, which would make that book really cool to have. This was just a cool one that I saw. That one was actually $1. Blue Ribbon Comics number 1, and it's actually a really cool book. I looked at it a while ago. Let me open it up real quick. It's got like a bunch of I guess they're reprints of. It's got, see, this is on the back, Simon Kirby Williamson Classic Fly Stories. It's got some really cool stories in it. Here's all the stories that are in it. No, that's the checklist. Well, whatever. I went through it and it had a bunch of cool stories in it, like from Simon and Kirby, which is awesome. Doesn't really hold a lot of value, but it's just a cool book to have. I got another one of these, which I think I showed before, Batman 457. I might not have. 457 is the first Jason Todd Robin, I believe. Couple New 52 number 1s for $1. The Hunted, I don't even know that book, and Ravagers. Get those for $1. Alpha Big Time number 1. I really liked the Alpha story in Amazing Spider-Man. I think he's a cool character. He's like a cocky kid who gets superpowers real quick and kind of thinks he's the man, which he kind of is for a little bit, but Spider-Man puts him in place. Tales of Darkness Wizard Half. I always get those wizards when I see them. This was a book I had not even heard of before. Protectors Inc. These are both number 1 variant cover. J. Michael Straczynski, first issue. I don't know, for 50 cents I picked both those up. Sheltered number 6. Great series. I love that series. That's starting to. So they talked. I think I talked about this last time. They've been talking about a TV or movie for that, and I really like where it's going. Hinterkind number 2, another new book that I like. And like I said, he must have bought out a collection and put all these, basically, not those newer ones, but there was a lot of older stuff. And so check all these out that I got for a quarter. Yeah, I did not have this. Superman Man of Steel number 17. This is the one that you want in regards to Doomsday. This is the first book that came out where he was on the back panel. It just showed his fist, but this seems to be the one that people want as far as like a first print. Now some of the Superman 18s later printings like 4 and 5 are really tough to get also, but that's cool. Got that one. And then so up top in this diamond here you can see where it falls in the storyline as they cross over the different titles. So this is number 41, which is the first of the Doomsday. This is 44, which is Action Comics number 683. You're supposed to read these in the sequence of the number and the triangle, but I don't think it really matters in regards to the Doomsday story in this case, because this actually has the same last page as this one. This one just came out sooner. So this has the exact same preview of Doomsday. 684, Doomsday on the cover obviously, and then Adventures of Superman 497, which actually precedes this one. You can see 47 and 48. So all those for a quarter. Awesome. And a ton of caps. Captain America's for starting at $247. Now, $247 is also the first appearance of Bernie Rosenthal, who was at one point engaged to Steve Rogers, and this is her first appearance. So that's kind of a cool book. And then, so I got 247 up to 254, and these two also are kind of key books. They 253 is the first appearance of Union Jack Joey Chapman. Now I would have thought that Union Jack has been in comics before, but maybe it's only been in UK version of Marvel Comics. And there you can see 254, he's on the cover. And I want to show you this artwork in here is awesome too. This is John Byrne. Just this last page is really cool. Let's see if we can get to it. So these comics were a quarter, but you can see they're not white pages. They weren't stored well, and I think that's why he just threw them in there for a quarter. But check out this artwork. Man, that's just really cool. It's got him by the throat. Look at his eyes and not moving. Anyway, cool books. Really happy to get. Most of those were a quarter, like I said, which is awesome. And then I did get some other stuff from the shop. I got Saint of Killers #2 for $3, and this is the shop where I said before that he like totals it up, and then I get a nice discount after that. Saint of Killers #2 is where is the death of Saint of Killers. He dies at the end of this, but there's 4 issues in this. I haven't read the other ones after this to see how that plays out. If they're just like different times in his life or what. So I don't know if that's gonna do anything because of the Preacher series, being that it's his death, but they did just say that they're going to follow the Preacher books as closely as they can, kind of unlike what Walking Dead has done. They're gonna try and really stick to the books, which is cool. Fantastic Four 205, pay $5 or less. The first appearance of Nova Corps. So that could be a good book as well with the movie coming out. I think they've been talking about Nova Corps possibly being Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe. Miracle Man #10. This is it's one of the harder earlier Miracle Mans, like before 15. This is one of the tougher ones to find, and I needed it in my run, so I got it all the way up to 15 now. Don't have 15, but it's a pretty cool cover. And I got Scalped #1. He had $12 on this. This is a book that I don't know too much about, but I know it's a sought after book, and I've heard the series is pretty good. I don't know, like I said, I don't know too much about it, but I saw it in the box once or twice, and I went back and I looked online, and I mean, I couldn't find it anywhere near. It's a $20 book, so I probably ended up paying $10 for it. So I was happy about that. Another good one for the collection. Here's East of West #1. I got 3 of them for about $15 online. Just because it's #1, a lot of people bought as speculation that everybody's buying the new books because they're wondering what's going to be the next Walking Dead or the next saga. It's a good read. So I think the series, if it keeps going, which it should, that book could potentially catch on and be worth something. This was an online store, and I got the No Prize book #1. You can find this online on like eBay for fairly cheap, but it's kind of all over the board because it's sought after because Night Nurse is under the price stamp there. It's a cool cover, Stan Lee. I paid $3 for it. Cool book. How about this? Detective 881. This is the last book in the first series. And this one in 880 is even harder to find. 880 has the Joker face on it and like all of the black in the Joker faces, bats. It's a really awesome cover. But 880 is probably going for about 25 at least, and this is probably a $20 book as well. 881. I got that for $4. I picked up another Legends 6, the first Justice League International, and another Legends 3. What did I pay for those? $1 each. Can't beat that. Got another Transformers 8, Dinobots, kind of their first appearance. That was $3. And I got another Detective 783, first Nyasa Ratako, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. And I got another Spider-Man Annual 19, first Alistair Smythe, who's going to be in the new Amazing Spider-Man movie. So, bunch of books in there. Kind of just doubled up on some of those. Alright, next up I got some more online buys from an online shop. I got now I've shown you, I purchased the Ultimate Spider-Man, the KB #1, a little while back. This is the free comic book day version, and I'm just buying these because #1 itself is kind of out of reach for most people. So this is a more affordable version, and I paid $1 for that. Ultimate Fallout 4, first Miles Morales, Age of Ultron 10, first Angela in Marvel, and showed you these not too long ago. I picked up 2 of these, and they're in different conditions. This one's pretty beat on the spine. Kind of sucks because this one you can see is more vibrant than this one, but this one the spine isn't in as good a shape. New Mutants Annual 2, first U.S. Psylocke, and that's a newsstand too, which is kind of cool, but it's not in great condition, which sucks. What did I pay for those? Okay, so the one in lesser condition I paid $4, and the other one I paid $11. So that's like a very fine year mint 11, which I just showed another one that I got for 10. It was in a little bit less. It was in a little bit grade lower. But anyway, those are good books. Marvel's Greatest 92. This is the first. This reprints Fantastic Four 12, which is Hulk vs. Thing, which is a really iconic book. And these sometimes get looked over. These hold value to the right person because it is a reprint of a milestone book. So it's a cool book to add to your collection if you want to read the story, especially. Paid 75 cents for that one. This one I've been looking for probably over a year. Marvel Man Family's Finest #3, the variant. Marvel Man Family's Finest was reprinted some of the early Marvel Man stories. Marvel Man is the same character as Miracle Man, but when they produced Miracle Man, Alan Moore, they didn't want to use Marvel Man because it says the name Marvel in it, and they didn't want to try and fight the court battle against Marvel, the comic book producer, even though they had a pretty good defense that Marvel Man, the character, was around before Marvel Comics. So anyway, 1 and 2 I have the variants. 3 through, I believe there's 6 issues. Yeah, 3 through 6 the variants are really hard to find, and I was super stoked to find this. The cover of it's awesome, and I got it for fairly cheap. What did I end up paying for that? I got that one for $2.50, which I can't ever even find that one. I mean, even on eBay, they're really hard to find 3 through 6 variants. So, cool book. iZombie 2, just got it because I already had a bunch of ones, so paid $1. Preacher 66, the last issue of Preacher. And I was just talking about it, and they're going to stick to the book. So a lot of deaths happen in 65 and 66, so they will become pretty sought after, and they already are. I was lucky to find this for $3. Just a couple. I don't know. I don't really like speculating like this, but Marvel Age #2. It's the first. It's a preview of Alpha Flight, and this is the first time that Puck is in comics. And then Marvel Age #6 has, if you see down here, Walt Simonson's plans for Thor. There's an interview with him, and it has the first time that Beta Ray Bill is in comics. I don't know. I mean, who knows if anything like that will ever be worth anything. Picked up another Legends one for $1. Marvel Presents #1. Nothing spectacular for $1. Here's a couple books that I think are really undervalued. Let me put this one down first. Thing vs. Hulk, Marvel 2-in-1. Again, one of those kind of books that probably gets overlooked. This is Marvel 2-in-1 #46. Thing vs. Hulk, good book to have, and I'm sure you can get that for $1. And it's, if you find the right collector, that's a $10 book. Okay, so these are two books that I think are overlooked right now, especially with Black Panther and Avengers. This is Black Panther Volume 4, #2. This is the first appearance of Shuri, which is a woman character. And then this is the one I think is really overlooked. Black Panther Volume 5, #5. J. Scott Campbell cover. First of all, it's got that going for it. But this is the first appearance of Shuri as Black Panther. So the first woman Black Panther. Really cool books. And nobody's talking about these. I mean, I don't know why, but hey, they can sit back. We'll go grab them. All right, and let me show you one more quick score. I had a Craigslist score. Bunch of Superman books. $10 for 11 books. And the reason I wanted it was just because of this one book. DC Comics Presents 47. These books, there wasn't much good stuff in there, but this one here, first appearance of He-Man, and it's not mint, but I will take it for $10 because these here I could probably, if I ended up reselling them, I could probably get $5 at least. So we'll say I paid $5 for this. Awesome book to have. And I looked on eBay before this, and the cheapest one that I saw sold was about $17, and I'm talking all grades, and they go up to $80. So this is a really cool book. Keep your eye out for it. I've been looking for it. Usually it's gone in the DC Presents run, but I'm sure there are still some out there that can be had for cheap. So thanks for watching. Got through all my books. I have no backlog of books now, which is awesome. Almost every video I've made, I've had a backlog of books that I couldn't get to. So I'm really happy about that. Thanks for everybody watching and continually watching, and keep trolling those dollar boxes.